Hi there, I'm Katy-Rose, and this is Map Your Potential, a channel about life purpose, intentional life design, motivation, well-being, and personal power. Today, I want to talk a little bit about how to design your life at any time of the year. So we all know that sort of New Year's resolutions, New Year, perhaps birthdays, anniversaries tend to bring about this sense of a fresh start, a clean slate. First of the month, Mondays are a good one as well. But we can actually create that space for ourselves and that motivation without needing it to be a particular date. However, even if you are waiting for that particular date, so I'm recording this a week or so before the end of the year, actually how to design up your life is something that we're not taught how to do. So the point of this video is to talk a little bit about a few steps we can take to actually design or redesign our life ready for a time that we want it to be different, however you define that time. So before we do anything, step one is to pause and reflect. So thinking about your physical space. What isn't working about your physical space? So it might be, oh, I don't want my desk to be there because I can't see the television, or actually I need to work on getting the garage sort of converted in time for winter, or you'll have different things around your physical space that might not be working for you, which might come into your life design or redesign. Mental well-being. So what has worked for you in the past, or this year, or in the last few months, and what makes it worse? So it's really good, again, something we're not taught about sort of in schools and things, is how to look after our mental well-being. But actually we can learn this ourselves. So for me, I know that actually laying in a bubble bath for half an hour doesn't help my mental well-being. It gives my brain lots of time to ruminate and to worry and to come up with difficulties and problems. So for me, I know that doesn't work for my well-being, but sitting down in the living room with my cat and a hot chocolate with some soothing music or a nice podcast is really good at resetting my mental space and my well-being. So what's worked for you and what makes things worse? This is really useful information when we come to plan what we're going to do for designing life differently. Experiences and events. So again, are there particular things that have happened in the last few weeks, months, year that you either particularly want to take into the next period of time, or that you want to avoid when you're making sort of a new design, as it were, for your life, that you want to avoid from that? Taking an idea of what you've already experienced, what events you've been to, and how they made you feel, how they impacted you, is a really good place to start. To-dos and missed plans. So this is about what's left over. So if you're coming to the end of the year or the end of the month, and you had some plans that you haven't been able to achieve, what's left, what's missing? If you've had to-dos on your list for a few weeks and you just haven't got around to them, you need a life admin day, you haven't got around to doing them, haven't focused or prioritized on them, make a note of them. Because again, are they things that you want to manage and sort out and deal with in terms of designing the next few weeks? Considering your reset behaviours. So this is, what do you do around New Year, birthdays, anniversaries, those kind of reset times when you do feel that fresh, clean slate. So maybe it's beginning of September if you go by the academic school year in England. Actually, what is it that works for you or doesn't work for you in terms of that? So I know a lot of people do spring cleaning. I do autumn cleaning. It's just something around September I start to feel I need to rearrange my furniture, I need to do a deep clean, we're getting ready to go into winter and we're going to be spending more time at home. And I think it might be because of academic year, start of the new school year, I want to learn things, I tend to want to buy a lot of stationery. So what behaviours signal to you that actually we're about to have a fresh start, and all the motivation that comes with it? Identifying those so that you know if you can put some of those in is really helpful. Step number 2, looking at your physical space. So generally there'll be some kind of physical cleaning, cleansing, clearing, however you want to word it. So following what worked or didn't work about, or works or doesn't work about your space, making changes regarding that, making plans to make changes. So as I said, if you want to paint all the rooms in your house or recarpet or something big, then you won't be able to do that today. But it's about making a bit of a plan of what you're going to do. So again, if there are things that you only do 1 or 2 times a year, today would be a good time to really plan them in. Actually, you want a fresh start and a fresh slate, clean slate, then you want to clean your windows or empty your gutters or whatever it is that feels a bit more of a deep, fresh kind of thing that you only do semi-regularly. And this is where it's good to know about what your reset behaviours are. So again, what do you tend to do around New Year? What do you tend to do around birthdays that might give you that little symbolic sense of, oh, we're going to get a fresh start? 3 is looking at mental routines. So however you want to make space in your brain, I recommend doing that next. So once you've got a little bit of clarity on your physical space, you've got a few ideas, you've kind of got a bit of breathing space physically, journaling, brain dumping, meditation, reading fiction, lighting candles, having a bath, shower, anything that is going to have an impact on your mental state. Might, writing down all the to-dos that you haven't done, brain dumping all of the life admin stuff you haven't got around to yet, can just free up that extra little bit of space that will allow you to then move forward and make plans and really not get bogged down in what you've been dealing with, as it were. So whatever works for you to reset your mind and body so that you feel fresh, calm, and you've got space in your brain, in your mind. 4, looking at that admin over those kind of missed to-dos and missed aspects. So what goals are you not on track to reach? Do you still want to do them? Do you want to just completely write them off and just not focus on that at the moment? Do you need to tweak your deadline or tweak your goal? So I wanted to do this many things by then. I'll halve that number of things. I think I'll still get there by then. However you want to do it. What's been on your to-do list for months that you just haven't got round to? So I've had a letter saying, oh, your 3-yearly checkup is due, you need to book an appointment in your GP. And I've been sitting on that letter for about 3 weeks and I just haven't got around to it, haven't thought of it at a time when the GP surgery is open, that kind of thing. So it's a little bit, so for me it might be that I would schedule in a reminder on my phone for Monday morning to say, look, they're open, give them a call. Making an action plan to take one baby step is much more likely to lead to that outcome than if you tell yourself, oh, I'll have the whole day and I will completely blitz this. So human beings, in our sort of psychology and the way that we work, we thrive on a sense of progress. So if we feel like we haven't completed anything today, we haven't made much progress, we generally don't feel as accomplished, as happy, as successful, even if the things we've technically done are quite a few. So if you are able to make any kind of progress that you can measure, so I planned something for all of those admin, even if I've planned them for 3 weeks' time, I've planned it in, I have put that reminder in my phone, I can tick off having to remember, oh my goodness, I need to ring the GP, because my phone will remember for me and tell me, and I know that that is a time and a day. I will then just follow through there and then with that plan. If you can't complete a whole task, book in a date to do that first step, write it in your diary, put a reminder on your phone, make that decision, or completely wipe it off and say, do you know what, it's not a priority, it's not a problem, I'm just not going to put it on, I'm just not going to do it. I haven't done it for so long, it's fine, whatever, depending what it is. because any progress will help you to build momentum, to feel motivated, and make you feel productive at the end of the day, which are certainly in my mind 3 things that I like to have at the end of the day. Step 5 is to start planning for the next period of time. So I like planning for 12 weeks, 3 months, a quarter of a year. It's enough to make an actual progress rather than just a tiny thing here and there. But it's also not too long that I'm going to go off track and completely lose my way. If something comes up, then it gives me a bit of a reset space of my own. So I probably do my own sort of life design, redesign, reset moment, probably every 3 months. If you can, identify what hasn't worked in the year so that you don't make the same mistakes. So if you're, if it's June and you're thinking, I need to do this, design my life now, ready for the end of the year, I want to hit my goals. What hasn't worked? What if something did work? What worked best? Really use what you've learned so far in the experiences so that you don't have to learn those lessons again. Focus on plans with clear, small steps. I like to focus on steps that I can do even on the worst days. So I have a goal of meditating for 10 breaths or 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes 3 times a week. Now, even if I am completely and utterly sick with the flu and everything goes wrong and it's chaos absolutely everywhere and nothing, even if all kinds of things go wrong, finding 7.5 minutes a week to meditate on 3 separate occasions, 2.5 minutes, I still manage to do that. Even if my meditation is actually the cat is sat on my lap, I cannot move and I don't really feel like moving, but I can't sleep, I count it, tick, do my meditation. Doesn't matter that I didn't put the app on, I didn't measure it, I didn't make it formal. Actually, knowing that counts and that it's about showing up, it's about getting that routine of being mindful. That means that I tend to achieve it and tend to then feel really motivated not to break that chain, because I've been doing that 3 times a week for nearly a year and I would have to start from week 1 again next week if I missed it today. So building up those small baby steps that you can do even on those really difficult, lethargic, low energy days, it's like an easy win. And again, it builds up that sense of productivity and success. If you want some help in making resolutions or setting goals, I will put a link in the description to a free worksheet to do with. It talks a little bit about SMART goals, but mostly it's about mixing that intuitive, what do I know, what do I actually want, with some of the science. So I've got a background in neuroscience and psychology. So I will put a link to that worksheet in the description. And step 6 is to set a review date and time so that you can revisit these plans. I don't know all of the science behind all of it, but what I can say is that a lot of successful people, a lot of the books about habit setting and productivity and organisation, they all say that people who review their goals regularly are something ridiculous, like 8 times more likely to succeed. It's a big difference if you actually review those goals. And I think that it's worth, in 6 or 12 weeks' time, booking in that little 1-hour review, as it were, in a few weeks' time, so that if you start to move off course, you can tweak yourself before you're miles off track, And again, if you need to tweak something because actually you've broken your leg, so you're not going to be able to run a marathon, you can tweak that goal and still accomplish something else in that time. I hope this was helpful. I would love to know what you do to redesign or redefine your life, or if you're someone who likes to reinvent yourself, what are your strategies to making that work for you? Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe down below. Do follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Map Your Potential, and I will see you in the next video.